Hello and welcome back to Simply Clarifying. Today I'm going to teach you how to teach your kids the times tables. I'm also going to teach you a trick that I'm positive most people don't know, and it's a secret on how to teach the times tables effectively in a way that they're definitely going to memorize. So watch to the end because you do not want to miss this trick. Let me introduce myself. I am Clara Campidelli. I am a homeschool mom of 10 years to my 3 children. I'm also a certified OG tutor, and that's a tutor for children with learning disabilities. So I have been teaching reading, writing, and spelling for 19 years. Make sure to subscribe below and click the bell so you know when I upload a new video, which is weekly. Step number 1 is to teach the concept of multiplication and how it relates to addition. Essentially, multiplication is just repeated addition. Example is 3 times 4, which is 4 plus 4 plus 4, 3 groups of 4. So make sure they understand the concept of multiplication first. Then we're going to move on to something called commutative property. And really all that is teaching them that 3 times 4 is exactly the same as 4 times 3. In multiplication, it doesn't matter what 2 numbers that you multiply in what order, you're still going to get the same product, the same answer. So they need to know this. 2 times 3 is exactly the same as 3 times 2. This is so helpful to children because then they start to realize that they know a lot of the multiplication table, probably half of it. Because if you're learning 3 times 4, you're also learning 4 times 3. And it goes on for the other ones. 5 times 4 is the same as 4 times 5. So you can kind of block those off on your times table chart, and you've pretty much memorized half of the table already. Okay, number 2, teach the easy ones first. That's 0 times tables. 0 times anything is 0. Easy. The 1 time tables. Anything times 1 is the other number. 1 times 9, 9. 1 times 7, 7. You get the drift. I would even teach the 11 times tables at this point. Anything times 11 is just doubling the number. 8 times 11, 88. 6 times 11, 66. Okay, number 3, it's time to skip count. This is the precursor to multiplication. Skip count with your children. I would start with your 2s, of course. I think those are the easy ones. Then move on to your 5s and your 10s. Make this a fun thing. You can do this anywhere. Have them hop up and down while they're skip counting their 2s. Get them to bounce a ball while they're doing their 5 skip counting. Maybe have them march for the 10s as they're skip counting them. Just make it fun. This is a great thing to start with preschoolers. I think that most children by the age of 6 tend to know their 2s, their 5s, and their 10s skip counting. So essentially you have already introduced a lot of the times tables chart. Okay, so they know their 2s, their 5s, and their 10s. The ones I recommend you going on to for skip counting is your 3 and 4s. So you are going to teach them to skip count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. They can say it out loud, they can write it. After you start doing the skip counting for 3s and 4s, you are going to want to drill them. So you're going to say, what is 3 times 5? They are going to say 3 times 5 is 15. They can say it almost in a chant if it's something that you're memorizing. No, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. You can do it that way if you choose to. But Eventually you do want to mix them up and just randomly, what's 3 times 9, what's 3 times 7. And they should be able to recite them because they have been skip counting and getting to know the answers. So, because really skip counting is the answer to multiplication, right? So that's what they've been doing. They're going to be familiar with the numbers. So if they're going to, say the answer of 19, they're going to think, well, 19 isn't the answer to anything, I don't think, because I don't skip count with that number. Something like that. So that's why skip counting is so important. After that, move on to your 3s, move on to your 4s, and start drilling those out loud and, on paper. So number 4 is about drilling. And so I would put the ones that they have mastered skip counting. So you're going to do your 2s, your 3s, your 4s, your 5s, and your 10s. You can put your 0s and 1s if you choose to, but you're going to do those as little drill sheets daily. You could do that every second day, but just so they are familiar with those specific times tables. Again, so that's 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 10s. Number 5 is to teach patterns. And this is going to go for your 9 times tables and your 8 times tables. Some people might know this, some people might not. So your 9 times tables have a pattern. So example, if you have 6 times 9, the answer is 54. 5 plus 4 equals 9. Let's do another one. 9 times 7 is 63. 6 plus 3 is 9. So the answer to 9 times tables, if you were to add the 2 digits, it will equal 9. There's a pattern. And if we write them all out, you're going to see a pattern as well. You're going to see how the numbers, the first digits add up and the last digits get smaller. Now it's time to tell me, do you have any tricks that you have introduced to your kids, or have they taught you something to help memorize certain facts? If you know, then please share them with us down below in the comments. Now, before I share my secret with you guys, I want you to stay to the end because I have an amazing freebie for you that I'm positive is going to be so helpful in helping your kids be efficient and have the times tables memorized. So make sure you stay to the end because I'll explain what that freebie is and how you can download it. Okay, here's the big secret. Your children only need to memorize 6 facts. Out of that whole table, it's 6 facts that you are definitely going to focus on the most. And here it is. It's a perfect square. Those are the only facts that you need to really memorize. And I will even take it a bit further and say there's only 3 facts that your children need to memorize, because the 6 times 6, 7 times 7, and 8 times 8 are usually pretty easy to memorize, and they're perfect squares, right? Because they're just being multiplied by itself. So really, you're left with 6 times 7, 6 times 8, and 7 times 8. And of course, you're going to learn the flip of those. So 6 times 7, 7 times 6. So those are only 3 facts. Put them up in your house. Put them on a little index card. Put them on the mirror in the bathroom. Put them on the fridge. Put it above their bed. Have it displayed everywhere. I did this all the time for my children because those are the ones that are the hardest. I think even some adults kind of have to think, okay, what is 6 times 8 again? They have to think about it. It has to be imprinted in their mind. And if they visually see it everywhere and say it out loud, then that's just going to make it a lot more easier for them to have it memorized. So my free download is the drill for those 6 facts. I want you to print that out 21 times for each child, and I want them to do it every day for 21 days, those specific 6 facts. They will definitely have them memorized within those 3 weeks. I guarantee it. Now, I'm also going to include another drill sheet that has the 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s together, and you may choose to alternate those with the 6-fact drill sheet that I'm going to have for you. It's just if they're having a little bit of a harder time memorizing some of the 9 times tables, then this worksheet will be for them. I want you to do this every single day. It is a repetitive thing. It needs to be consistent. That is how we memorize our times tables. And it has to be rote. At some point it has to be rote, or else they will not be able to go on to more complex, higher level math if they don't have their multiplication facts in here. So make sure you go to my description box below and download those free drill sheets. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the notification bell. And I really hope that this video was super helpful for you to be able to teach your kids how to memorize the times tables. And I can't wait to see